In January 1536, after only 3 years of marriage, Anne Boleyn has produced only one surviving child, a girl, the Princess Elizabeth. Rather than waste the time and trouble of another divorce, Henry has his second wife arrested on the false charges of adultery and incest and taken to the Tower. Being the Queen has some minor advantages even when awaiting execution. Boleyn is comfortably housed in the same apartments she occupied on the night of her coronation, and King Henry grants her a last, special favor.
Anne Boleyn was executed in an unusual manner. She was not executed by an axe. In fact, the king sent to Saint-Omer in France for an experienced swordsman to strike off her head because it would be a quicker, cleaner death. And this is thought to have been in return for her cooperation in agreeing to the annulment of her marriage and the bastardy of her daughter.
On the day of her execution, Anne climbs the scaffold specially built on Tower Green. It is raised higher than usual to allow the private audience a good view of her death. The French executioner does not use a block, so Anne kneels before him, making certain that her skirts demurely cover her feet and ankles. The executioner quietly picks up his sword, which has been discreetly hidden in a pile of straw. Even though he holds the saber in his hands, he yells out, "Bring me the sword!" Anne instinctively turns towards his voice.
And her head was sliced off literally in an instant, we are told. The head was lifted up in the usual manner, and the executioner cried, "Behold the head of a traitor." And at that moment, the eyes and lips were seen to move, and the onlookers were absolutely shocked.
And so when Anne Boleyn's head was severed, did she see the ground coming up to meet her? Did she look down at the faces of the people gathered round the scaffold before blackness overcame her? Who knows? I'm unable to find a volunteer to prove or disprove that, regrettably.
6 years later, King Henry's fifth wife meets a similar fate. It seems that the charges of infidelity leveled against her are at least partially true, and so Queen Katherine Howard does not receive the same courtesies as Anne Boleyn. She must suffer the wrath of the English axeman.
The night before her execution, she asked for the block to be brought to her apartments so that she could practice how to lay her head on it and make a good death, so she wouldn't let down the noble house of Howard, of which she was a member.
The final victim condemned under Henry VIII's reign, the Duke of Norfolk, never makes it to the gallows. The night before his scheduled execution, the Duke is awakened in his tower cell by the ringing of all the bells in London. The king has died in his sleep, thus bringing Norfolk an unexpected reprieve and a sudden end to Henry's 38-year bloody rule.